Junkies!
Let's talk E3 2021. E3 this year was kind of a very mixed bag, I think, for a lot of people.
Mixed bag?
Yeah, for a lot of people, it was a mixed bag.
It was a dirty trash bag.
Some people loved it.
Plumbers don't wear ties.
Yep.
Some people loved it. Some people didn't love it.
No, you have to enter the giveaway, Hand of Omega. It's exclamation point giveaway if you want to enter.
Yes, the instructions will be on the screen. You'll see other people.
Sorry about taking away.
No, that's fine. No
problem.
Fine.
No
so
problem.
E3 had a completely virtual event. But for the most part, it was kind of disjointed. You know, everybody kind of did their own presentations. Guerrilla Games, Nintendo, Ubisoft. I forget who else. You know, Microsoft did their own thing. But at the same time, they showed off a lot of game trailers. I think for the most part, some people there was some things that wowed people, but there were others that were just like, overall, what did you guys think of E3 2021 this year?
I know what Picture Man 32 thought of it. He said, I know Square Enix is about to have me and every single fan of their building with pitchforks because of that one dude saying chaos over and over again. So that's what Picture Man
There you
32
go.
thought of.
Man,
The Iguana Man says E3 is unnecessary now.
It is.
Yeah,
We'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show.
We'll talk about that
Do
later.
they still do CES? That's a trade show, isn't it?
Yes, CES
but here's
still
the
exists.
thing. CES is all electronics, though.
Yeah.
Like all stuff. I mean, there's
Yeah.
game stuff there too, but we're talking like vacuum cleaners
Yep.
and DVD, Blu-ray player, like all
Drones,
of that stuff.
all that
Everything.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
it's a much broader show. So there's always an audience for that.
Hey, remember when
it's
CES
everything.
used to be the big game show on the block
Yeah.
too, like back in the
That's
day?
probably why they made
Yeah.
E3 because
It
there was
was.
not
They
enough
did.
time and room.
Yep.
E3 is over. It's time to start up at 4.
Wow. There you go.
There you go. But no, E3 2021. There must have been something that everybody kind of came away with liking, right?
I like when Kazuya threw Kirby off a cliff, but that was about
Then
it.
Kirby came back.
That
Yeah,
was
but he came
the
back.
funniest trailer. This dude Kazuya was literally throwing everybody off the cliff.
Yeah. I
kinda
just saw
mad
the
at
That was,
It was great.
that
I'm
had
mad
me
that he
in
threw-
tears. I'm not gonna
he threw
lie.
so many
like
people that
that
could
bit
fly
had
off of
me
that
in
cliff,
tears.
He sure did.
Like,
There's
he
this
threw
meme right here that I gotta share, which I'm gonna put in the
in
Discord.
the Discord.
In the Discord, and if anybody wants to see it, join the Discord. You know, a link is gonna pop up in the screen. But it's a meme where back in The Simpsons, where Mo is throwing out Barney, and Mo is Kirby. I mean, Mo is Kazuya, and he's throwing him out, and he just shows up right behind him. That's how that was.
Man, the only thing that I can say in general is that the show as a whole, I could have just been doing something else, and it had been a more productive 3 days or so. But I will say that honestly, the best walk away of it was Microsoft and Nintendo and just Ubisoft showing Riders Republic, but that's about it. So I know it was like a couple of other things they showed. To be honest, I just really was not into the conference this year. And the fact that they had so much stuff like all spread out, and it just like even some of the showcases were just like, what the hell? And it's like, I don't know. Like it just really just didn't feel like the whole conference felt unnecessary. And that's kind of sad because that was kind of like the go-to at one point for E3 to be like, you know, to come away with new gaming news and stuff or whatever. But now, like, you know, of course, Sony skipped the last 2 years, so they're probably going to do their own showcase later on. And you know, I will say Microsoft kind of redeemed themselves this year quite a bit with their showcase because they actually had a lot of good showings. The only thing is that they probably should stop with the constant Xbox bumpers before every trailer.
That was kind of getting annoying.
Right. But other than that, they had some really interesting stuff. I think
Yo, man.
of course the Battlefield 2042 looked
Battlefield
awesome.
was my favorite game. That was one thing I wanted from E3. That was the only thing I wanted.
Yeah.
Was Battlefield.
That looked awesome, and Redfall has my attention.
Redfall also has my attention. I have to admit, I spent my entire stream yesterday with my viewers watching game trailers. Like that's all I did was watching all these E3 game trailers, and I was very impressed by a lot of Microsoft's offerings. Redfall was one.
Yeah.
Replaced was another. I've become such a big fan of how do you call them, the bit
Pixel?
the pixel
art?
yeah the pixel art games.
As I said, it looks like blasphemous.
Like, dude, Replaced was the most impressive one to me because it was 2D side scrolling, but it had such a cinematic feel to it. If you haven't watched the Replaced trailer, you have got to watch that thing. It was so good. It made me want to get a Game Pass, and I vehemently have not wanted to get a Game Pass because there's nothing that has interested me until now. Literally,
Yeah,
until
because
now.
this is definitely them signifying that the drought is over.
Yes,
when it comes to their games, because it's like they marketed the hell, and like someone said in the chat, I think it was I think Iguana Man said that they were selling the hell out of the Game Pass, and it's like it makes sense because the Game Pass is a good deal, but it mostly was for first party titles that almost everybody already played, and with like a few things that people were kind of sort of interested in. And it's like now we like a year, I guess less than a year later, and now we have all this stuff to look forward to day one, with once again Battlefield being one of them among the rest of them, and those are going to be available day one. And I'm like, okay, now we're talking as far as the investment for the Game Pass, and it's just like, okay, now we're talking. So other than that, Capcom.
Capcom may as well just not even spent the money. They should have just stayed home with that one, dude.
Big years.
Real quick,
Capcom just, man, it's like, look, folks was going hard on Square Enix as rightful as they are to do so, but Capcom literally just came up with nothing. Like nothing.
Yeah. Again, and there's no disrespect to the Japanese, but Capcom is a very Japanese company, and that's part of the problem. They are not really great at doing PR. They are not really great at communicating with their user base, and they're not really great at building hype. Like all the other companies know how to drop trailers, tease stuff, tweet about stuff, put stuff up. Capcom is like a drought when it comes to that. Like they just do not know how to do it, and it's sad.
Yes,
it's like, look, y'all used to be
they've been doing great.
Yeah,
and they've been doing great the last few years. They have been doing great, but like when it comes to the marketing, it's like, gosh, guys, dude, get it together. Like,
exactly.
You should have watched Limited Runs. Their press conference.
You were all over.
It was
the
freaking
stuff.
Hilarious. And the games. Now, granted, everybody's looking at the new games that are coming out, and that's good and dandy. There's some new games that Limited Run is bringing physical, of course, because I like having physical stuff. Because like,
what they have, Rondo and Blood.
Rondo of Blood is coming. That wasn't even. I was gonna save that one for last, but
what was the one for Turbo Duo? Right.
It's literally the Turbo Duo from 1992. They're releasing the game that should have came out over here back then. It's Castlevania Rondo of Blood, as it was called Dracula X back in the day, or in Japan it's called Dracula X, and it's going to be playable on that system. It's not for a new system; it's for that system.
It's just like there was the Genesis cartridge. Right?
Yeah, just like how they do in the Genesis cartridge. But River City Girls 2 is coming. As if you were watching my stream last week, not this week, but last week, I did some River City Girls. River City Girls 2 is coming. River City Girls 0 is coming. They have a Kunio-kun Double Dragon, like 18 games. And if you know anything about Kunio-kun, it's the River City Ransom, Super Dodgeball, all that stuff is in that realm. There's a lot of games, and Double Dragon.
Right.
Plumbers don't wear tires, which I am not a fan, don't really care for whatever reason, is going to be coming out recently.
Is Amarok still there? I haven't heard from him. He hasn't tried.
I am here. I'm listening. I'm not trying to interrupt anybody.
No, that's fine. So
back there,
what is your
music set?
Like? What was your takeaway from E3? Because I know there was a lot of games that you were picking up on. What was your takeaway from E3?
Well, my thing about E3 was there was a lot of stuff that I'm not going to say I ruined for myself, but things that I found out about before this happened, and then like confirmations were there, so that part was all right. But I didn't care for these.
Ruin that for you? How do you ruin this for yourself? How do you do that?
Having too high of expectation.
And yeah, that too is
okay.
But no, it was just they didn't give me what I needed as far as the presentation goes, is recreating E3.
Okay.
They just tried their best to give us what it was, and that's not going to work.
No,
like this.
well, we're gonna move on, but Spalking is talking about giving what we needed. I have been asking for this for so long, and I finally fucking got it. Metroid Dread.
Oh, yeah.
Metroid. Like, man, I have been waiting so fucking long for a brand new Metroid game. Not Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
Metroid. You know?
I wonder how long
that's what I wanted.
That was kind of surprising that because I think what they announced like Metroid Prime 4, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I think.
And we still ain't heard
and still haven't heard anything. That's why I'm kind of surprised that you had this. And it's like, I was like, look, a new Metroid, cool. Like I'm all for it. Like it's as someone that like has been wanting to get into like a newer Metroid game and been waiting to kind of like jump into it. It's like cool. Like I'm down for this. So, but I mean, again, this is kind of to Nintendo's credit. Like Nintendo did what a lot of other showcases have been doing, and they started off strong because obviously with the Kazuya announcement for Smash, which
man, when he did that 10-hit combo, I was like, how?
I was like,
no. they put the 10 in there? like how?
Hey, we hope you enjoyed that clip. Make sure you check out our live content on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/culturejunkies. We also have a lot of content available on YouTube, unboxings as well as Blu-ray reviews. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/culturejunkies. And on top of all of that, if you go to culturejunkies.net, you can check out our merch store. The link is culturejunkies.net/merch. There's a lot of great merchandise there. So there's links and logos and stuff all around me. So check those out, and we will see you next time.